Okay, are you ready for this? Today we are looking at the latest installment of Twin Power. And let me tell you, this one is a wild ride. Last time, if you remember, they barely escaped that Grekoin destroyer.
Haha, talk about a close call, right?
Seriously. But it looks like they are far from out of the woods yet.
Not even a little bit.
So we are picking up right where we left off with scene 5. They've just jumped into that wormhole, remember? And, well, things in there are intense, to say the least. The writing is fantastic. You can practically feel the spaceship straining under the pressure.
Absolutely. It really puts you right there in the thick of it with them.
Alarms going off, sparks flying everywhere. Meanwhile, poor Maia's just trying to keep everything from shaking apart as they fly through this crazy cosmic tunnel.
It's definitely a scene designed to get your heart racing. And then you've got Aida, always the helpful android, trying to explain to everyone what a wormhole actually is, in case they were wondering.
Because when you're hurtling through time and space, that's obviously your first thought, right? Someone please explain the theoretical astrophysics of this situation.
Right. But, it actually is interesting how she describes it. It's not just a shortcut through space. It's more like folding space and time to travel unimaginable distances.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot to wrap your head around.
To say the least.
So, okay, we've got the twins in this, well, basically another dimension, right? Everything's white, chaotic, no way of knowing which way is up. And honestly, for a second, I wasn't sure they were going to make it out of there in one piece.
Oh, same here. It's that edge of your seat kind of tension,
But finally, bam, they emerge from the wormhole, and you'd think there'd be this huge sigh of relief, right?
Right, they made it.
But instead, it's like this wave of disorientation hits them. Imagine going from that intense, chaotic freefall to, well, the vast emptiness of space. I don't even know if I can imagine what that would feel like. It's like you finally get off that crazy roller coaster ride, but instead of being back at the fairgrounds with cotton candy and crowds, you're in the middle of nowhere.
A very accurate comparison.
And to make matters worse, Aida confirms what they were all dreading. They're officially lost.
Talk about adding insult to injury, right?
For real. But, they barely have time to even process that before something new pops up on their radar. A planet.
And not just any planet. This one looks eerily similar to Earth.
Okay, talk about a mixed bag. On the one hand, yay, a planet, maybe they can land, maybe it's safe. But on the other hand, who knows what's out there? Curiosity killed the cat, right?
Or maybe curiosity satisfied the cat.
Huh. Yeah, if you're there, you always do. But that's where the conflict starts to bubble to the surface. Because Maia, always the soldier, sees this new planet as an opportunity. A chance to regroup and keep fighting. She reminds everyone that their home planet, Uzvold, is counting on them.
Which, no pressure or anything.
Right. But Alec, on the other hand, is a little less thrilled about this whole situation.
I can't say I blame him after everything they've been through. I mean, honestly, who could blame him for being a little apprehensive? This isn't just some abstract mission for him.
Right, exactly.
He's got just as much at stake as Maia. They both left family behind on Uzvold. It really highlights that whole duty versus survival thing,
Oh, absolutely. That's the age-old question, isn't it? When the fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance, how can you even think about your own needs?
Yeah.
What do you think, listeners? Would you be able to face that kind of pressure, knowing what's at stake? It's a tough one.
It really is. And, at the end of the day, even heroes have their limits. After that harrowing escape, it's only natural for Alec to want a little bit of security. You can practically feel his hesitation in the writing,
Totally. He's always been the more cautious twin, which honestly just makes him even more lovable, don't you think?
Oh, definitely. But speaking of the twins, you mentioned character development earlier. What were you thinking of specifically with this scene?
Oh, right.
Because there's some interesting stuff happening there.
Yeah, for sure.
We see Maia's unwavering determination in this scene. It's actually pretty inspiring. Even after everything they've gone through, she hasn't lost that fire one bit.
I know.
She is 100% committed to taking down the Grekoin, even if it means putting herself in danger.
There's just something about a woman on a mission,
Yeah.
That focus, that drive. It's incredible.
I know, right? She is a force to be reckoned with. And I think that's part of what makes the scene so interesting, because you see these two very different responses to the same stressful situation, and it kind of highlights that underlying tension that's always there, in the relationship.
It's that classic twin dynamic, isn't it? Two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. And the way their personalities clash, it just creates this really engaging push and pull. You can practically see the wheels turning as they're trying to figure out what to do.
It really makes you wonder, are they going to be able to work through this? Or will all this pressure just drive them apart?
That is the million-dollar question, right? And it reminds us that twin power isn't just about spaceships and aliens. It's about those relationships that we build and the choices that we make when things get rough.
And speaking of choices, we have to remember, they didn't just end up in this mess by accident, did they?
Right, exactly. Their current predicament, it's a direct result of their actions. Remember back to that daring sabotage of the Grekoin mothership, and then that narrow escape from the destroyer. All of these choices have led them to this point, on the run, lost in space, facing an uncertain future.
And so they're saying when it rains, it pours. But like on a galactic scale.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate way to put it. But it's also what makes the story so compelling, right? Because we see these characters wrestling with these complex themes. Duty, survival, sacrifice. It really makes you think, what would I do in their shoes?
That's the mark of a good story, isn't it? When it sticks with you long after you finish reading, you find yourself thinking about those big questions. It's like holding up a mirror to our own humanity.
Exactly, and in this case, that mirror is reflecting some pretty intense circumstances. Stranded on the edge of the unknown, facing impossible odds, I mean, it makes you wonder what you're truly capable of.
It's kind of humbling, in a way. We think about these big, epic space battles and alien encounters, but at the end of the day, it always comes back to that human element.
It really does.
That inner strength. And in Maia and Alec's case, well, their test is far from over.
Definitely not. It's like the stage is set.
Oh, totally. They're on this new planet, uncharted territory. Who knows what's waiting for them out there? Maybe they'll find friendly alien, offering them like space tea and biscuits or something.
Let's hope they're big on hospitality, right? But let's not forget, there's still very much in enemy territory here. I mean, this whole sector is crawling with Grekoin patrols. Who knows what else? Landing on this planet, it could be the first step towards freedom,
Or it could be a trap. Ugh. Talk about a no-win situation. It seems like every time we turn around, these twins are facing impossible odds. I guess that's what happens when you're fighting for the fate of the galaxy.
No rest for the wicked, as they say.
So true. But speaking of no rest, unfortunately that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. But don't worry, the story is far from over.
Oh, this is just the beginning, and trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next.
Seriously. It's a cliffhanger for the ages. Will they make contact with the Resistance? Will they ever see their home planet again? What dangers or maybe even opportunities are waiting for them on this new planet?
I mean, and the biggest question of all, will Maia and Alec's bond survive this? Only time will tell.
Ugh, the suspense is killing me, and I know I'm not alone here. So tell us what you think. What do you think happens next? Share your theories, your predictions, your wildest dreams. Let us know in the comments. And until next time, keep exploring.
We rise above the